I never believed in ghost stories until that night, driving alone down a desolate road in Texas. The night was pitch black, the kind of darkness that swallows everything whole. Alongside the road, only empty fields, broken fences, and skeletal trees clawing at the sky. My radio had gone dead hours ago. The hum of my car engine was the only sound in the world. I passed a long abandoned gas station. Its lights flickered like dying heartbeats. And then I saw them, two children, standing perfectly still by the roadside. Their skin was pale, almost sickly, and their eyes were entirely black. They stared at me. My chest tightened. My heart seemed to stop. One of the children slowly stepped forward, small feet crunching gravel under the faint moonlight. We need to come in, the smaller one whispered, voice barely audible. I shook my head. My hands were in my pockets, but my body was out of my control. The other one added, "You don't understand. We have to be inside." I slammed the car window shut and locked the doors. They froze. Their eyes didn't blink. They just held me, pulling at some part of my soul I didn't know existed. The engine shuddered as I pressed the pedal. It was as if even the car felt my fear. A single knock, soft, deliberate, but it hit the inside of my skull like a hammer. I floored the gas. The road stretched endlessly in front of me. From the corner of my eye, I thought I saw movement, tiny shadows darting across the trees. My rearview mirror reflected nothing but the empty road, yet I could feel their presence behind me. Every mile I drove, the shadows seemed to grow closer, like something impossible was keeping pace. I swerved, my heart hammering, gripping the wheel as the wind screamed past me. And then they were gone. Just the empty road, the whispering wind, and a memory that made my blood run cold. I knew it wasn't over. They were out there, waiting, watching, patient, eternal. After escaping the roadside encounter, I thought I was safe. I drove to my friend's old farmhouse on the outskirts of a small Texas town, hoping for company and comfort. The house was quiet, too quiet. The kind of silence that presses against your ears. The wooden floor creaked under my boots, though no one else was inside. I tried to shake off the memory of the children, but a chill ran down my spine. Then I heard it, a soft knock at the front door. Tap, tap, tap. My stomach twisted. No one else should be here. "Please, let us in," a child's voice whispered from outside. I froze. My hand trembled on the doorknob. Peering through the window, I saw them. Two small figures, black eyes shining in the dim porch light. They didn't move. They didn't blink. They just watched. I backed away, heart racing, and my flashlight illuminated the front yard. It revealed nothing but shadows. Suddenly, the doorknob rattled violently, as if someone or something was testing my resolve. "I don't need this," I just need them to go away. Don't open the door, I whispered to myself, though my voice shook. Every instinct screamed that letting them in would be a mistake. Yet their voices, soft and pleading, tugged at some deep, irrational fear inside me. I ran to the living room, trying to block the door with furniture. The lights flickered. Shadows lengthened unnaturally, stretching along the walls. I realized the whispers weren't just outside. They were inside my head, echoing, overlapping, ancient and commanding. I grabbed my phone. Dead. Black. Not a single bar. A faint giggle drifted from the kitchen. The smallest child had appeared inside, standing silently behind a chair. I spun around. Nothing. Just the shadows twisting like smoke. The air grew heavy, almost wet, like the house itself was breathing. I backed into the hallway, doors now warped, leading to rooms that shouldn't exist. From the corner of my eye, a black-eyed face appeared in every reflection. Mirrors, windows, even the glossy surface of the dining table. I screamed, but my voice was swallowed by the building's darkness. By the time I reached the attic, the front door was gone, replaced by a solid wall. I pressed my face to the attic window. Outside, the road had vanished. Only a black, endless void stared back at me. And then I heard it. Hundreds of tiny voices whispering, chanting, waiting. "Let us in! Let us in!" I collapsed, realizing the terrifying truth. They didn't just follow me. They were inside the house. They had been inside all along. The clock struck 3 a.m. The house seemed alive. Shadows stretched along the walls, twisting as if they had minds of their own. I sat on the edge of the bed, trembling, flashlight in hand. Every creak of the old wooden floor echoed like a scream. Then I heard it, a soft tapping on the window. I didn't move, my breath caught in my throat. Slowly, the black-eyed children appeared, one by one, at every window of the house. Their faces pale, perfectly still, eyes reflecting the dim moonlight. "Let us in," they whispered in unison, voices layered and echoing through my skull. I ran to the hallway, trying to escape, but the walls seemed to stretch impossibly. Each room looked unfamiliar, distorted. Furniture moved as if pushed by invisible hands. Chairs slid across the floor, doors slammed on their own. I caught my reflection in the mirror. Hundreds of black-eyed children stared back at me, pressed against the glass from the other side. I spun around. Nothing, only the whispering. "We are everywhere. You can't hide." The attic staircase loomed above me, warped and endless. I started climbing. Every step felt like falling into darkness. From the shadows, tiny hands reached out, touching my ankles, pulling me down. A soft giggle echoed from the ceiling. The children were crawling, hundreds of them, defying all reason. I reached the attic, desperate, and pressed my face to the window. Moonlight spilled in, but outside the road had vanished. Only a black void stared back. The whispers became louder, overlapping, ancient. You cannot escape. We have chosen you. My legs gave out. I fell to my knees, shaking, whispering to myself, Don't let them in. Don't let them in. And then silence. Absolute silence. The house seemed calm, but I knew it was temporary. They would return. They always return. I stayed in the attic, frozen, heart hammering, knowing one truth. This house and these children were eternal.
The whispers never stopped. I could hear them in my ears, under the floorboards, behind every wall. The house was no longer the house I entered. The walls twisted, the ceilings warped, and every door led somewhere impossible. A faint giggle echoed from the corner. I turned. The smallest black-eyed child hovered mid-air, grinning impossibly wide. I stumbled back. The living room was alive. Chairs moved, tables shifted, doors slammed shut with deafening force. Every reflection I saw, mirrors, windows, even the glossy kitchen floor, showed dozens of black-eyed faces pressing closer. I backed into the hallway. Shadows crawled along the walls, stretching unnaturally. I pressed my hands over my ears, but the whispers grew louder, sharper, twisting into screams only I could hear. A hand shot out from the floorboards, pale and icy, gripping my ankle. I kicked it free, stumbling into the attic staircase, which now stretched into impossible heights. I climbed, step by step, my heart hammering, the shadows crawling after me like living smoke. From the ceiling, hundreds of tiny black-eyed hands reached down. They scratched, pulled, tried to drag me back. I reached the top. The attic was a void of moonlight and darkness, filled with hundreds of whispering faces. I saw one child, larger than the rest, its black eyes glowing with intent. "You cannot leave," it whispered. The walls shook, the floor quivered, the house itself seemed to breathe, alive with a hunger I could not understand. I ran to the window, hoping to escape, but outside was endless black. The road, the fields, everything had vanished. I realized then that this house was not just haunted. It was a trap, a living entity controlled by the children. I screamed, but no sound came, only the whispers, louder, chanting, "Let us in, let us in." I pressed my back to the wall, heart racing, every instinct telling me this night would never end. And then a hand touched my shoulder, pale, cold, real. I turned slowly,
Hundreds of black-eyed children stared at me, floating, crawling, their whispers filling my mind. I knew the truth. The house wasn't just haunted. It was alive, and I was trapped inside it with them forever. The clock struck 3 a.m. The whispers became a roar, pressing against my mind from every direction. I could feel them surrounding me, hundreds of black-eyed children, floating, crawling, impossibly many. The walls of the house twisted further, shrinking the space around me. I was trapped. One of the children's tiny hands grabbed my ankle, cold, unyielding. I kicked and stumbled forward, heart pounding, flashlight swinging wildly. The attic window glowed faintly, my only hope. I ran. But outside, nothing, just endless black, stretching into infinity. I turned back, hundreds of faces pressed against the walls, floors and ceiling, watching, waiting. "We've chosen you," they whispered in unison, 1,000 layered voices echoing in my skull. I climbed through the window, desperate, scraping hands against the wooden frame. The shadows lunged, hands, faces, whispers, they all reached for me. I fell to the ground, trembling, surrounded by their gaze. The air thickened with cold, decay, and something ancient. From the corner of my eye, a single child grinned, pale, black-eyed, impossibly wide. I screamed, but no sound came, only the black void outside and the eternal watching inside. And then, silence. The house returned to stillness, as if nothing had happened. But I knew better. They were out there, waiting, watching, patient, eternal. I ran. I don't know where, I don't know how. All I know is this. If you ever see children with black eyes, don't let them in. Don't open the door, and whatever you do, don't look them in the eyes. Because once they're inside, you're never alone again.